the official empowerment podcast. It's all about you, girl. Here we are in January, episode number 2, ready to rock and roll with our goals. And I am extremely excited about the person that we have here today. Not only is she a friend of mine, somebody that, I went to high school with, played some sports with, but definitely somebody that I have seen her evolve and flourish through the years as she's become an amazing mother and definitely has dominated through her fitness journey. Today's topic is more than just a body. Being able to develop our mind, body, and soul through our entire transformation journey. Welcome, Miss Melissa Flores, to our Empowerment Podcast. How do you feel today?
I feel amazing. I'm really excited. I woke up this morning saying, you know what? I get to be on this podcast call today. So I'm excited to share.
Awesome, Mel. So before we get into our topic, more than just a body, why don't you share with our listeners, your background before Team Beauty, right? Like, what is it that you were doing? Why did you say yes to Team Beauty? And then we'll dive in with the tips that you have for everybody today.
Awesome. So I got started with my health journey 10 years ago. And when I think of 10 years, it's crazy to think that so much time has passed and so many things have evolved along the way. When I first got started, I was a postpartum mom. I was already 3 years postpartum. Sometimes we have that baby weight that we don't, get rid of right away. And so that was me just I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I need to start doing something because I don't feel good. I saw a picture, New Year's, and it was 2012. Yeah. And so it was 2012. I saw a picture and I said, this is not what I want to continue to look like. And so that's when I got started on my health journey. And a lot of times when you get started, you don't really know what you're doing. You're starting and you're just doing what you think or what you read. And so I got started, a lot of cardio, very restrictive with my eating. It was not like the journey that I say. It's something that I want everyone to start off like.
What were the things that you would do? Think about yourself. I know when we're already have developed some good healthy habits, right? It's hard to remember what your life was like then, but tell us what was that like? Like you were like, yes, I'm gonna get started on my goals, and then what did you do?
Oh my gosh.
Like your daily routine or your weekly routine, what did that look like?
So I was working out 6 days out of the week. I was doing cardio for an hour a day, cardio. And what my meals look like, I don't even remember if I was eating multiple meals. I just know I was in this starvation mode. And it's not healthy. I just wanted quick results, and sometimes you do whatever it takes. So I was barely eating anything, and it was the typical broccoli, rice, and chicken. I hated chicken for a whole year after that, but that's what it was. It was working out intensely, doing a lot of cardio. I was a cardio bunny, and then barely eating anything. And so, I saw results right away, because going from not working out, eating whatever I wanted, to now all of a sudden broccoli, rice, and chicken and cardio all the time. It wasn't a journey that I enjoyed. I did do it on my own, and I did lose 25 pounds within a 6-month period. But I got to a point where I got to my, goal weight, and I said, this is not what I want to look like. I don't look healthy. I was really skinny at the time, and I said, you know what, I need to do something different. So I started to get away from cardio, started, working a little bit more with weights and stuff, started understanding that there's other ways of working out and other ways of transforming your body. So, but still, 3 years into it on my own, still figuring things out, not really knowing what I was doing. So then Team Beauty came about. I saw it kind of happening on social media, saw one of your posts, and I said to myself, I'm really tired of doing this journey alone. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I felt comfortable asking someone that I knew rather than a total stranger that would just sell me a plan, and didn't really care about my goals, but just gave me whatever, right? And so when I joined, I remember my first experience. I went to a Zumba workout, or I think it was some kind of dance workout. I don't even remember, but I just remember walking into it and just feeling this sense of positivity and love. And I've never been I guess I've never been to something where people made you feel like home. That's what it felt like. It felt like home. It felt so good to be around this community that I was like, I need to come back. Like, what do I need to do to be a part, right? And that's where my journey started. It started in 2015. And 3 months into my journey, I was so happy because going from being very restrictive for a very long time and saying no to so many things and maybe not even getting the results that I was looking for, in 3 months, I was able to gain 15 pounds of lean mass, which is what I was looking for. And now my body started to feel different, started to be different. And I started to like love myself, you know, and feel comfortable in my body, which I hadn't been in such a long time. I mean, even before I had my little girl, I still wasn't comfortable with my body. But something that I think I've always kind of struggled with up until I feel like now, you know, it's been years and lots of different transformations. But now I feel like I have a sense of like, doesn't matter how fit I am right now, I still love myself right now. Mm-hmm. You know, like I still feel good where I am, but I'm still working for more.
I think that's so amazing what you just said, because for everybody listening, right, today's topic is more than just the body, right? And we got the new year in, right? Yes. 2023 is here. More than ever, we're scrolling on social media, right? Seeing all of this quote unquote perfection. Yeah. And we start comparing ourselves. We start even saying like, this is going to be the year, small waist, big booty. I know I said it on the previous podcast, right? Like the typical goals, right? That are amazing goals for everybody. But, you know, we want to talk about this topic more than just the body, because Mel, what is this thing, right? About loving my journey, you know, loving my body at every stage, every transformation, where, you know, I know we were talking before this podcast where you were like, you know, in the past, maybe I was skinny, but I didn't enjoy, or I didn't even want to look like that. Yeah. There's even some people that are like offended when you call them skinny because they're not like happy with the body that they are in. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the body, right? Just from what we see, yes, right? Like, so what's your perspective on enjoying a transformation journey with looking at yourself in the mirror every single day?
Yeah. So if I can think back at like before I had my daughter, you know, wasn't really typically happy with where I was. And then I can say even after I had my little girl and I was a little thicker, I still wasn't happy. And even
why weren't you happy? Why weren't you happy?
I think sometimes you just think that the physical is all there is to it. If you're not physically where you like think of, like, then you're not happy. And so I have found myself in different body shapes, unhappy. And at the end of the day, as time has gone on, I started to realize like my physical body shouldn't just be like a specific, like that shouldn't only be my happiness. You know, I should find happiness in the journey of becoming this person that I want to become, or looking how I want to become, you know? So that's really what it's been for me these past 10 years. It's seeing how beautiful it can be to be at all levels. Like we don't cherish our body enough to see, you know, when we were, you know, I guess for me, you know, being overweight for what I thought was overweight, to being skinny, to, you know, my muscle journey, which it's just so beautiful to see. And I cherish it now. Maybe in that moment I didn't. And now that I think back at it, I'm like, man, you did so many great things, you know. Physically, I was able to achieve so many different things. Body fat at the lowest, 11%. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, but still wasn't happy there. So I think I've come to the terms of just appreciating what I've been able to do in every, you know, step of the way.
And I think here is where you look at, right, that it's not how you look, but why you want to look that way, right? Like that's important, because I mean, you muscles, six pack, everything, right? And still saying like, I'm not happy, right? But like why you were doing it, or understanding the mindset that you were in behind that personal transformation, you know, could definitely make a difference in your 2023 goals, when you're not only trying to physically look a certain way, but Why?
Yeah.
Why do we want to do this?
So I think that we have to like not pay attention to the outside. Cause I think a lot of times
how easy is that?
It is hard. I'm not going to say that it's easy, because I know that when I started, it was because of, yes, it's how I felt, but also like things that I feel came from the outside that didn't make me feel good. You know what I mean?
For example,
well, sometimes it's who you're with. You know, maybe it's a partner that may say something to you, and for me, it was that at that time. It was not feeling my best because of something that was said, and it could just be said once that makes you'll never forget it. You know, and that was my turning point. Like, I don't want to ever feel like this again because of my weight. So at the beginning, it was because of something that was said on the outside that made me feel a certain way. And then when I got to these, different types of body transformations, I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I could give a shit, what other people think anymore. Like, I'm just going to care about how I feel and how it makes me feel, because it really doesn't matter, because you're going to be happy or unhappy with yourself. Like, what does it matter what someone else says? Because at the end of the day, it's how you live with yourself and how you feel about yourself.
Yes, completely agree with that, right? Like, allowing externals, right? Or even how you feel about some people. You mentioned something very important, right? Your partner, your spouse, the person that you live with, that you sleep with. That could be a very hard thing when you don't have the confidence. Yeah. I remember on my first postpartum journey, I remember like it was yesterday. It's like, okay, girl, time to take your before pic, right? Like, who's going to take my before pic? My husband has to take my before pic. And, I was so shy and timid to be like, hey, like,
this is where I am.
Here's a camera.
Yeah.
Like, and then you just literally, even though you have sex with them and like everything, right? But like, just being still in that moment.
It's vulnerable.
Open your arms, right? Stand there for 3 seconds. Turn around. Stand there for 3 seconds. It's like, how embarrassing, because you feel like if you were writing notes, want to write that down. How I feel mostly is really how you dictate and go about your life, when it shouldn't fully always be that way. And that's for another topic. But it's like, I feel this way about myself. Like, I'm fat. I just gave birth. I have stretch marks. Like, my skin is super loose. And now this guy has to like take my pictures. Like, how uncomfortable is it not to feel your most confident?
Yeah.
And then that dictates how you want to look.
Yeah. I think that's very true. You think about when you're out in public and maybe you go to the beach and you're in a swimsuit, and we put the cover up because we don't want people to see, and maybe we don't feel our confidence. But then you see other people that you may not think that they're like, fit, the fittest looking, but they have all the confidence in the world. So it shouldn't be about like what's going on the outside, but it's really how you're feeling the inside, because you could be at all shapes and sizes, but you just have to build that confidence within.
And the second thing is like, just stop already, right? Like, if you could write it down, it's like, stop already, right? Stop talking down on yourself. Stop, thinking that when you lose 30 pounds, then you're will be happy. You're not gonna be happy then. When you're fit, then you will blank, 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 right? And it's like, just stop and enjoy the journey, right? Exactly. Enjoy the process. And that takes a lot from a woman, because the moment that you decide that, you have to always kind of like snap yourself in, like, this is the journey that I want to be in. Like, I accept myself. I love myself. I am beautiful. I am powerful. Like, not only knowing those affirmations, but actually believing them for yourself is a big deal. And, there's this thing, Mel, and I want you to give us your perspective, because there's this thing about, obviously, I look at you, you're tall, beautiful, slender, fit, right? Like, you're in your ideal weight when I look at you here. And there's this thing, right, where it's like, oh, like, I'm going to enjoy my journey, but then we also fall in a comfort zone, right? So how could we not sabotage our results by just saying like, I love myself, I love my journey? Is that true? Is that really true?
I can't truly say that anyone, I can't speak for other people, but I can speak for myself along the journey and along the way, where I have gotten comfortable, and then you get so comfortable that you get to a point where you're like, oh, this is not comfortable anymore. You start to realize like, oh, what did I just do? It was the little things along the way that you just kind of put to the side, and you just have to remember that you have to put yourself first. And it's also a mental game. I think this fitness journey is so much more. Your health journey is so much more than just the physical of what you see, but it's a mental game along the way, like the longevity of it. We're not here for this 30-day only transformation. Like, we do transformation journeys, but it's like to keep you going into going from 30 days to like extending it to 60 and 90 and a year and 2 years. And, me 10 years later, still loving the journey, still working on myself, trying to find a better way, more balanced way along the way. Because like I said, when I started, very restrictive, I thought like you had to be in the gym for 2 hours out of the day, to, going down the journey. And it's like, no, you don't have to be in the gym 7 days out of the week. You just have to watch what you eat. You have to, work out as much as you can, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's 4 days, 5 days, 6, whatever that is for you, whatever you feel comfortable with. But then it just becomes a level of balance that you have in your life. Because if you don't have balance in your life, or you don't create some type of like, this is my lifestyle versus this is the time period that I'm going to do it. Like, it's just a mental game of like, how am I continuing to treat myself for the long run? And so that's where I've been these past couple years. It's like fitness was my thing for a very long time. And it's like, no, I need balance now. I need to be able to work on my mindset to know that like, I want to be healthy, mind, body, and soul. I don't want just the physical part to be, because like I said, sometimes we're not happy at the skinniest or the biggest, or we're just, if you're always going to keep your happiness in what you look like, you may not, you just may never be happy then. Rather than along the journey is fixing, not fixing, but transforming yourself in all aspects of yourself, of your mind, of your body. And along the way, you just start to realize like all of it ties in together. The fitness part is a mental part, and the mental part goes into other areas of your life as well. So really working on your mindset along the way, that you are stronger. And like you said about the affirmations, for a long time, telling myself I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm this. Like, what are you telling yourself? You have to wake up and look at yourself in the mirror. And the more that you say it to yourself, the more that you're going to believe it. But if you continue to think I'm not good enough, I don't look good enough, you're just never going to be happy. So start with saying things to yourself, because eventually those things become your truth.
And that's where self-love comes in, right? We are in a culture, I feel, right, where what are your goals? More self-love, right? More self-love. But are you really giving yourself more self-love? Or what is it that you're really doing, right? And so inside of that self-love, Mel, for you, what do you think has been like the most difficult thing, or that you've had to work on for Melissa to be who she is today, that you're like, okay, this was hard, and now that I've discovered, right, I've released a better version of myself through this whole transformation journey?
I think the mindset, for sure. My mindset from the beginning to now, I think I kind of always saw it as something that I was going to do for the long run, rather than it was just a diet. Like, I stopped tying my happiness in the pounds that I lost. I started putting my happiness in how I felt and what I was feeding my mind, what I was feeding my body, because I think everything that you feed yourself, whether it's like spiritual, food, your mindset, whatever you listen to, I think all of that like ties in together, because the more that you feed yourself all of this, you just start to feel different and be different. And I think that's been my biggest thing along the way, is like, don't just only focus on one area, but focus on everything that you can, what you see, what you hear, what you're eating, what you're doing. All of those things are going to make a big difference in where you're going.
Absolutely. And, enjoying, right? Like, as you're talking, I'm like imagining myself two scenarios. Okay. I want y'all to think like, Scenario number one, it's 2023. I have to start on my goals. I have to start working out. I have to start eating healthy, right? Like dreading all of these things. You know, you have to lose 20 pounds. You know, it'll be better for you. All of these things that we already know, but how are we showing up, right? Like it's already from a negative state of mind. You get weighed in first week, you lost 1 pound and you're like, I expected to lose 5 pounds this week, right? Like, and then it's like a ripple effect of negativity. And so giving up, right? Like you just give up because you're really not entering intentionally with that right state of mind of, imagine if it was the other way around. Like, I'm so excited, right? I am going to lose 20 pounds. Yeah. I am going to develop my mindset. I'm going to learn how to have healthy habits, right? And this is going to be a journey. It's going to be a process. So you lost 1 pound, you're happy. You lost 3 pounds, you're happy. You didn't lose any, you're happy because you went to the gym every day, right? Or you didn't skip. You drank your water, right? Like, finding the things that in the journey we could be happy about. I always say, Mel, like progress over perfection. Yeah. I feel a lot of moms, I'm a mom of 3, and I mean, the agenda doesn't go as planned all the time, right? I'm like, I'm going to drop off the kids and take them to, and then go to the gym. Yeah. And sometimes I got a phone call, I have a conference call, something. It's like, shoot, I didn't make it. I have to adjust, right? Yes. And so in this journey, like not being so hard on ourselves and just getting right back up and keeping on, right? Right where we left off, being able to do that. So that's important for everybody, you know, that is in this journey. It's like, it's barely week number 2, right? Week number 2 of January. Have you already felt that type of negativity? Yeah. Or are you like, no, girl, I'm enjoying this journey. It's going to be different this time around.
I actually want to go into that because I was just talking to one of my clients yesterday about that. You know, yes, I think when we turn the new year, we all want to turn the leaf and we want it to be perfect. And especially with the kids not in school, I think everyone can agree that the kids are not in school yet, or maybe they're already started going back, I think. But because they were at home during the first couple of days of the year, you're like, pues, I'm done. Yeah, like forget this, you know. And I was actually talking to one of my clients about it yesterday because she's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this challenge. And I was like, why? And it's like, because the kids are home. I've been busy with them these past couple of days. And I'm like, that's okay. You know, don't give up on your long journey for the couple days that you mess up. It's not going to be perfect. And I said, you know what? It may not always be perfect, but I want you to know when you're taking care of everyone else, there has to be a time where you think about yourself. And I'm like, as long as you're taking care of yourself, in the meanwhile that you're doing the things that you have to do as a mom, as a wife, and don't give up so quickly though. You know, just because you mess up a day or 2 or whatever that looks like, maybe even a week for some of you guys, you know, whatever that looks like, I just want you to remember that if you're in this for bigger reasons, you know, not just for the 10 pounds that you want to lose in a month or whatever the goal may be, but think of the long term, because I've even had clients where I've shown them pictures of what last year looked like from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And they didn't realize that they had roller coaster moments throughout the year, because I saw it. I saw roller coaster moments. But in the end, when we compare the picture at the end, wow. Like for me, I was like, look, and even though time, you know, your time was everywhere, you were busy doing all of these different things, maybe you didn't show up perfectly like the way we envision it sometimes, you still had results at the end. So think of it more of like, even if you mess up, keep going, you know?
And I think that's what I love about, I mean, I love everything about our challenge, Mel, but you know, it's this wellness journey, mind, body, soul. We aren't a challenge where you're just going to come hit the 10 pounds and leave, right? Yeah. Like, how do you say, hit it and quit it? Yeah. Like, you're not going to do that. Like, you're not just going to join, I lost 10 pounds, bye, and go on with your life. Yeah. It's really about taking the challenges from challenge to challenge, from event to event, from transformation to transformation, really evolving
Yes.
and discovering, like healing, discovering yourself, finally realizing the things that make you happy, who you truly want to be inside of the self-love journey. Like, it doesn't depend on my husband. Excuse me. It doesn't depend on my kids. So many times we do things for other people, and then it's whatever is left for me.
Yeah.
And it's like the other way around.
Yes.
Let me do what makes me happy, so then I could give the best of me to other people. And eventually, you know, the transformation challenge truly creates people that are free, that like create healthy habits, not just I'm joining because I want to lose 20 pounds and I don't know what I'm going to do after that, right? Versus I learned so much about myself in this process, education, the nutrition calls, the mega booty workouts that we have, you know, like so many different activities where you learn to appreciate and be grateful of the current journey that we are in without being comfortable. So, all right, Mel, as we wrap this up, I want you to give the girls 3 tips on what they can act upon this week in order to conquer and demolish their goals.
So I would say step 1, or, you know, tip number 1 is get with your coach. Make sure that you have the plan that's according to what your life looks like. You know, I think what we do and our plans are so simple. You know, stay plugged into the chats. You know, I always say the more that you are plugged into the chats, the more results that you're going to get, you know, because you're staying accountable. So accountability is going to be so important in your journey. 2, take a look at the workouts. They're personally made by a personal trainer that invested time into, you know, giving you that personal touch of the results that you're going to get. So I think if you utilize all the tools that you have available to you, you're going to get closer to your goals. And don't be so hard on yourself. If you miss a day, if you skip a day, don't try to double up the next day. Just continue going. Your happiness should not have an expiration date, you know, and I think that's what 2023 should be about. Your happiness should not have an expiration date. You keep going, you keep showing up, and you're going to love the person you become in the end.
Thank you so much, Mel, for sharing with us. It truly is amazing to be able to see along the years, right? Because it's different. Our mindset on day 1 of our journey through when you have some experience. How many years did you say?
Well, I've been a part of Team Beauty now for going on 8 years. It'll be 8 years in May.
8 years of helping women, transforming women, and truly just elevating them. And I know she has tons of customers in this current challenge. So the experience allows us, right, to just really dump all of that wisdom into you, so it's not that hard on yourself, and that you truly enjoy your personal transformation journey. Thank you, Mel, for having us here. And for everybody listening, make sure that as you finish, you tag Mel and I, you tag Team Beauty Official, and share your personal takeaways. What are you going to act on this week? And we will see you next week. Bye.